join me tonight. Okay, just quickly share the class. I think I'm just gonna do this. Okay, share the link. Right, the link has been shared to the class. So let's just go ahead while we wait while students will join the class. So welcome to another time with the enthusiastic tutor. And today's class, it's a continuation of our previous course, the introduction to psychology. I mean, industrial psychology slash industrial slash organizational psychology, and this is our third class. Retrospective class. In retrospective class, is spoken about what sociology, what psychology is, what organizational psychology is, what social psychology is, and what industrial psychology is. And in the last class, we spoke about recruitment, we spoke about selection, we spoke about the method of recruitment, we spoke about the stages in selection, and we spoke about the preliminary interviews, we spoke about psychological testing, work history, reference check. All these are under selection. All these things has to be put into consideration. We spoke about the method of recruitment, and we have selection, which is one of the method of recruitment. We have under selection, we have recommendations, we have offer, we have medical examination, we have reference check. All these are under selection. Then we also spoke about learning and training, and we were able to establish the factors affecting learning, and we were also able to talk about inhibitions, forgetting, IQ, distractions, and we were also able to discuss learning theories and behavioral theory. We are also able to discuss classical conditioning, and we have that as that. And under the classical conditioning, we have what we call operant conditioning, and that's that for that. We also have what we call schedules of reinforcement, and we have under the schedules of reinforcement, we have the continuous schedule, we have the interval schedule, and under the interval schedule, we have the fixed interval, we have the variable interval. Okay, we also have under reinforcement and schedule, we also have ratio schedule, and under the ratio schedule, we have fixed ratio and variable ratio. So we have that as that. So I think Favor is here already. Okay, this is Favor. Okay, it's great to have you, although you came a bit late, but it's great. Nevertheless, it's great to have you still as you comment in today's class. So we have we'll just quickly gone through the previous class and all the things we learned. So now we are going into the agenda on the next thing on our agenda for today is that we are going to the topic. Just trying to locate that quickly. Just give me a moment. Okay. So we said something about social cognitive theories. We said something about some theories in the last class. We said something about social cognitive theory, and we also said things about information processing theory. So we said we talked about information processing of human memory, which are categorized into three, which we have the sensory memory, we have the short-term memory, we have the long-term memory. All these we spoke about, and we said the short-term memory is significant. It's a its breakdown. The acronym for the short-term memory is SM. I think we have somebody else also. Okay, the 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 acronym for short-term memory is denoted with SM, and we have the sensory memory. The acronym for it is SM. The short-term memory is STM, and the long-term memory is LTM. So we have that as that. And so today we'll be talking about human memory. We just touched a thing or two about human memory in our last class, but today we'll be talking about human memory at a glance, and we will say more to it. So, what is human memory? Now, human memory is an internal record of representation of prior events or experience. I don't know if you get that. The key point here is human memory is said to be a record it's human memory is an internal record. That is the first key point. It's an internal record or representation of some prior, when we say prior, some previous event or experience. You don't get memory of the future because you are yet to witness it. You only get memory of what you have experienced. Now we have, I hope that is clear enough. So we have without memory, learning is lost, and we have no past but only present. Without memory, learning is lost, which is very true, and we only have past but not present. Now, memory is one of the most important and valuable mental process. I don't know if you get that. Memory is the most important and valuable mental process. I think I need to put my phone on silent. It don't cause distraction. I forgot to do that. Okay. Favor. Are you following? Favor. Are you following? Have you gotten the page where we are? Okay. While we wait for you to respond, then I'll just go ahead. Okay. The page number is actually page 18 on the soft copy. It's page 18 on the soft copy, and I don't know what number is on the hard copy. Okay, we have somebody with us. Oh, it's great to have you join us tonight. So we have that as that. So we are talking about human memory. Human memory is said to be it's actually the most important and valuable mental process. It's a very important and a valuable mental process. Now, the long-term memory is interlinked with short-term memory. The long-term memory, okay, yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much. I think that came a bit late, but at least yes, you're with us now. Thank you very much. So now, the long-term memory and the short-term memory, they are both interlinked. Please take note of these key points. Key points are the long-term memory and the short-term memory are what's interlinked. Now, we have whenever a thing is recalled, it is brought from the conscious mind. Now, and later returned to the memory store for keeps. Now, when you recall something, it is brought, you understand, to the short-term memory. And let's not forget, you can only recall what you have learned. If you have not learned something, There's no way you can recall it. Now, and recalling, where did you get it from? You get that thing you have recalled from your long-term memory where you have stored it. We have that as that. So whenever a thing is recalled, it is brought to conscious mind, which is the short-term memory, and later it goes back to where it comes from, which is the long-term memory. There are at least two basic types of memories, two basic types or system of memories. Now we have the first type of memory, which is the explicit. Explicit in the sense that it is well explained, it is clear and well understood. And non-declarative, which is implicit, when something is the opposite of explicit, when something is not well explained or it is not clear enough. Now we have that as that. So there's a diagram which you have long-term memory subdivided into two, the declarative and the non-declarative. And under the declarative we have the semantic, we have the episodic memory, and under the non-declarative we have the procedural. So let's just explain what these things are very quickly. So we have declarative memory are of two types. Let's not forget, declarative memory is explicit. Declarative memory are of two types, which you have the semantic memory, which hosts factual and general information. Please do well to take down these points. Write them each in a new paragraph. Let each point occupy new paragraphs. So when you are studying for comprehension, you cannot get it all mixed up. So now, semantic memory hosting factual and general information. This semantic now is under declarative memory. Now, this semantic now, it is the host of factual and general informations, rules, events, objective facts, and specific information. Now the episodic memory now, which is still under declarative memory. Episodic memory is responsible for mental diary of events and episodes of life and that were personally experienced. High school graduation, wedding ceremonies, and birth of firstborn. Now, what is actually the difference between this semantic and episodic now? Semantic in the sense that facts, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That is what semantic is all about. It gives it facts, information, general information, facts, objectives. But episodic, from the name episode, an event, whether catastrophic or whether a breakthrough or whether something good, so far it's an event and that leaves an indelible mark. Definitely, if you witness the birth of a child, forever you always remember that. Your wedding day is one day you can never forget. Your graduation at the university or in secondary school is one day you can never forget. That is the memory which is responsible for that. And these two, semantic and episodic, they are categorized under declarative memory, which are under long-term memory. So now, just let's pay attention to the progression. So we have that as that. So we have the non-declarative memory now. The non-declarative memory, which is also, I don't want us to spend a lot of time because I have a class by, what's the time now? Okay, this is to 9. I have a class by 10, so by 9:30 we should be done with this class. 9:30, 9:40 max should be done with this class. So now let's just go back into it. Let's go straight into it. So we have non-declarative memory, also called memory without awareness. It's not clear enough. This refers to unintentional learning and is classified into 1. Procedural learning, 2. Classical conditioned responses such as fear or taste aversions. Now, Non-declarative memory is said to be memory that are not clear enough, with something that does not really get your attention or you are not aware of. It is referred to as unintentional learning. Now, under this non-declarative memory, then we now have procedural learning, which has to do with motor skills or unconscious knowledge that has become habitual, likes trying your shoes, brushing your teeth, and driving a car. Unconscious learning, which you do over time, then now becomes an habit. Now you have classical conditioned responses. Now, these classical conditioned responses more of fear. Your stimulus responding to the environment. For instance, if you open a can of drink, pour it into a glass, and found crawling maggot inside, your next encounter will automatically remind you of the first experience because of your previous. Just like somebody that got involved in police case and he really learned a great lesson of his life. I am not sure the person will ever forget such experience. And whenever he comes in contact with police, with, any other policeman, he will be very careful because of his previous experience. Or somebody who just suffered an heartbreak, you know, once beaten is twice shy. I think that explains it all. So we have that as that, and we also have priming, which is a situation where fixed exposure to stimuli facilitates the processes of new information. Examples are when romantic feelings are heightened after watching or in a romantic movie. In a way, dating is priming experience for courtship, or courtship is a priming experience for marriage. Okay, I think that's more of priming. When an experience leads to another, probably you saw two couple and you love the way they are communicating their lifestyle and everything. At that point, you feel like, okay, you want to get married, or maybe you saw a young couple with a child and you're like, my goodness, what am I doing with my life? It's not time for me to go and get married. That's what priming is all about. An exposure leads to the processing of the new information. So that's that for under declarative memory, the procedural learning, classical condition response, and the priming. So we have remembering versus forgetting. Because of the frailties, that's because of the frailties means weakness, frailties of human memory. Because of the weakness of human memory, many people are plagued by the problem of inability to retain and recall what has been learned. Very true. A lot of persons have issues with retaining what has been learned. Now, information stored in the long-term memory, information stored in the LTM, can be recalled / retrieved on demand. Let's not forget, we said something about recall the other time. You only get to recall what you have learned. Now, where were we? Okay. When information is easily recalled, it is said to be that we remembered. Recall as a term is not the same as remembering. Now, it means being able, recall now, means being able to retain what is learned and bring it back from the memory. A German psychologist, Hermann Ebbinghaus, in 1855 to 1964, pioneered memory research way back in 1855. Take note of this, please. The German psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus, and please note the spelling, in 1855 pioneered a memory research. So we have that as that. Let's just, so there's a diagram. According to his research, there's a diagram showing us that 100% of what we learned, according to him, he says 40% is being recalled after 1 hour, and 35 after a day, and 21 after a week. And this thing keeps going down till we actually don't recall it again. Now, retention and ultimate learning and recall are facilitated by a number of factors. Some of these factors are nature of material learned. Okay, nature of material learned. We have attention. We have attention. We have practice. We have memory. We have interest. We have organization, and we have organization of learned material. So these are the things that facilitates retention. When you practice, it's very necessary. Practice makes perfection. Correct practice, actually, not all practices. Just like what somebody once told me, said, not just practices, but correct practice. That is it. Correct practice makes perfection. So we have trying to, oh my goodness, I'm trying to, okay, move my material properly. Okay, no. How's my mouse misbehaving? Excuse me. I'm trying to just, my mouse should. So I think so we are good, and just move on. Then we may say rationale for training. Now we have the rationale for training. Rationale for training. We have to remove performance, to remove performance deficiency. We have to increase employees' competence, to improve quality and quantity of work, to prevent skills obsolescence. Skills in the sense that are updated, not for the skills, your skills not to be outdated. And we have prevent accidents, improve health and safety, and we have that as that. So we have training, need determination. Now, training need determination is addressed to three key issues. The need for determination in training is addressed to three issues, and these issues are initiation of a new improvement on existing knowledge. Now, what are the key points that organization makes organization to train their worker? Now we have improvement on existing knowledge. There has been a knowledge that needs improvement. That's one. Injecting new skills. That's two. And changing of attitudes. That's three. Now, whereas it takes knowledge and skill to excel in the job, but one thing keeps you on that job, which is your attitude. Certain, plain, and that's it. 5 components of the need for assessment. 5 components for the need for assessment process. We have, now these are the components for assessment process. We have organizational analysis, task/job analysis, personal analysis, then demographic analysis. All these things will be explained subsequently. Now, what is organizational analysis? Now, this focuses on identifying where training is needed. It focuses on identifying where training is needed in an organization. Now, task/job analysis. Now, this, while organization analysis is a macro perspective, task analysis is a micro perspective involving a review of job description in which the task due to responsibility and conditions under which the job is done is highlighted, meaning that task/job analysis is niched down to the specific requirements on that job and how it's properly scrutinized. Now we have personal analysis. This focuses on the job holder. I think that is clear enough. We have demographic analysis. Demographic has to do with the objective of this is to determine training needs of specific population of workers. It has to access whether all employees are given equal access to growth experience, and that as that. Okay, I think we are live again. So I think I lost Favor. Are you still with us? Okay, we have operational analysis. We are done with operational analysis. So we have training methods. Now we are done with the components of assessments. Components of assessment. Why training is actually required. So now we are on training methods. We have on the job method. This on the job has to do with the approach involves introduction of worker to new set of information and work related skills that are immediately transferred to the work situation. It is often done right on the job. On the job method is actually training that you receive right on the job. Simple as that. Training that you receive right on the job. So it's called on the job method training. So we have off the job. These are trainings training makes up for the description of flow of work intended on the job method. Now it is done in pre-selected venue away from the actual work. Training done from pre-selected venue away from work. So according to what its name implies that after off the job method. So we have that as that. Now I have simulation method. Now simulation method hope to find a bridge between the disadvantages of off and on the job method. Now simulation method provide realistic though contrived training situation and is useful mainly in training and developing program for managers. We have that as that. Now these are three methods of training. These three methods of training are generally being used by organizations. Now organizations often use combination of three methods because no one of them is perfectly sufficient for all the training needs, and that is very true. So we have that as that. So we have evaluation of training. So then what's evaluation? Evaluation simply means when you analyze to get facts. I don't know if we are together. When you analyze to get facts, then you can say you are evaluating. So we have training serves certain basic objectives which are to improve the knowledge. Affirmative. Now skills, that is know-how and attitude of workers and bring about change in relevant job environment, which we've spoken about. The ends in sight are improved productivity, efficiency, effectiveness at work. So the end product of training. So we also have now in reality training can be evaluated in terms of process, the process of the training, the outcome, the cost effects, benefits, the performance on the job. So the process now has to do with effectiveness of the trainer. We have trainees newly acquired skills as translated to the relevant job analysis, to the relevant job behavior. Now we have the process. Let me give us the process of that training. The process of that training must be correct. in line with the organization goal and objective, then the trainer has to be on point according to the goal and objective of the organization. Now the outcome, how the performance of the trainees now are people that are being trained compared to the pre-training level, there has to be a significant difference between what you were before the training and what you are now after the training. For the cost effect, definitely training requires spending. So what are the benefits that comes after this spending? So now we have the performance on the job. So we have that as that. So conclusion: learning principles and theories are crucial and form the basic principle upon which training and development activities are built. Learning brings about relatively permanent change in behavior as a result of acquiring new set of knowledge, skills, and attitude. For training to be successful, training needs us to be diagnosed and a system put in place to implement training agenda using appropriate methodologies. So that's that for that. And now we are done with that. And in Unit 4, we have performance appraisal, which we'll be talking about in our next class. Performance appraisal. We're going to be looking at the meaning of performance appraisal. In our next class, we should be concluding the module 1 and we'll be moving straight to the next module. So we just have to increase the pace at which we are moving because we still have other courses to attend to, and that will be that for that. In the next class, we definitely finish the Unit 1, the Module 1, and we can move to Module 2. It's going to be loaded, it's going to be fully packed. So we are going to start as soon as possible. We are going to start as soon as possible so that we will not get behind schedule. So thank you very much for sticking around. There will be no assignments for now. Subsequently, there should be, and we can take off from there. I wish you all the best, success in your studies and your endeavors. I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Bye.